I'm glad you're ready because we're live.
LangTime to Welcome Studio. I am your Jesse.
Let's go for it. My stomach's making noises in response, but go for it.
Co-Petersoning with my David host.
That works.
Yeah.
Good job. Oh, wait, was that your... Both my arms are bad, so I don't know. I don't know where to hit you.
It was, but I am a manly man. We just got our updated COVID boosters, so...
And I got a shot in each arm, so both arms hurt.
Yeah. Jesse slipped the nurse a little something extra and said, make it a double, which of course you can do.
Or I got COVID in one arm and flu in the other, which I really did.
Yeah, she got two attendants to do both shots at the same time, and they met in the middle. Welcome to official LangTime Studio member Ariaz, and
yay!
to mods Tethys and Tabby, and Arnag Petricore, aka Verin.
Yes, got everyone. I'm trying to get all the good stuff off the bottom.
Do you want me to give it a vigorous shake?
No, because then it'll explode when you open it. It's carbonated.
It's carbonated?
Yes.
Ooh.
And so you can't shake it, so you've got to just patiently swirl it.
By the way, I assume it doesn't affect the heart if you increase the window size. That just...
I don't think so.
It's really frustrating that this heart just covers up, like...
Yeah.
Is it? No?
Oh,
Wait.
but I mean, but then if somebody... it'll still... It just depends on how much text is in. But anyway. And Jonathan, I did that to myself because, like, get them both out of the way. Why not?
That's right.
And then I did it one on each side, so that way I could balance out the levels of pain instead of having one arm be really painful. And so, it balances, it works, and yeah. And I have to use both arms, and so it reminds me to keep moving them to keep, eventually the pain dies down if you just keep using your arms more.
Right. So we're going to be doing a lot of this throughout the stream. It's kind of our thing, since we're an exercise stream. Because you can exercise.
Go for it, David.
You can exercise even in your chair. This is what I call the clapper. Do 15 of those on each side every 20 minutes.
Gosh, and I hope you all...
While at work on your computer.
I hope you all do that, and I hope you're in the middle of a really quiet library while you do it. And so, Megan, here, shout out to you. I hope you're trying to be the librarian, fostering a quiet atmosphere whilst clapping.
Yeah.
Indeed. Metes, Mosa Yamosa.
I've been stalling because I feel like a sneeze is coming on, but I think I've beaten it, so I think we're okay.
That's another way to exercise, is to have David randomly sneeze and you jump out of your chair, and then you get little chair jumps.
It's called the sneeze salutation.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
And the dabbing.
Yeah.
And Viren.
Bubba, that's the best.
And Viren, I'm so sorry to hear that, but yeah, Bubba. Amazing. So we're starting with a discussion of Ingala because that's where our game name is going to come from.
Yeah.
However, we're going to continue work on Howell, our dog language, where David's going to keep working on the font, and I'm going to keep doing the kind of boring stuff of updating our dictionary because we still have a very long list to get into our dictionary.
We can do that. We need a couple of things for Half-Huff. We need, of course, terminology that's going to be relevant for the game. We need a name for our writing system, and also we should make a concerted effort to get those patron names into the language. And so, like, especially if patrons are here, give us your suggestions and we'll get them in. But yeah, we're going back to Ingala because the board game. I'll do it later. The board game that the languages we create here on LangTime Studio are supporting has never had a name. I've simply referred to it as the game, or sometimes, especially in typing, I've referred to it as SFP. SFP stands for Shining Force Project. Shining Force is a series of video games that whose engine I'm borrowing because I've never seen it done as a board game and I really like it. Anyway, but yeah, we've gotten to the point, people play tested it, it seems to be working, at least for the first 6 classes. Now we need to create the magic user classes and test those out. That could be a real thing because the part of the reason is that the magic spells I've created, they could really throw off balance and stuff like that and will need to be fine-tuned, so it's going to take some time. But anyway, so we need a name to refer to it. And you know, I would like to pull up to show everybody because I know we did it in the.
Sorry, I'm laughing at how slow the response is. And you'll probably have to move the window over to see that. I positioned it just so that way the results could be shown.
Yeah. But in on the patron stream, we've shown this map, but I don't know if we've shown it anywhere else. So this large area is where we are going to say the game takes place. This is Canada. It's near Toronto, but again, this is going to be a post-human Earth, where animals were left alive, and then what happened is there was some sort of substance whose origins are mysterious that emerged that caused some animals to mutate and develop humanoid characteristics and human speech. My original idea, as I was making these animal societies, would be that the rabbits are kind of the least warlike of all of the animals, but they're kind of forced into a position where they need to defend themselves because this substance, which caused the animals to mutate and then disappeared, has reemerged in the middle of the rabbit land. So this is the big area where all the animals are, but the specific area where the rabbits are is this area right here. That's kind of shaped like a paw, which is, I believe, where we got the name for the whole area, Tananguera, I think.
No, that means something else. Just a second, I'll look it up.
But yeah, we now have a name for the rabbit kingdom. It's the only one that has a name. This area is called Tananguera, and we say kingdom even though it's not really a monarchy. It's just like a place associated with the rabbits.
Yeah.
It is indeed a collective, yes, a collective of warrens.
It's at the bottom. It means Great Warren.
It means, oh, okay, so Tananguera means, yes, the Great Warren. And so, yeah, Arias, you're right. The name is itself a description of kind of the governmental system of the rabbits, which is a large, collective of warrens.
If anyone, by the way, is wondering why the particular area, not just the rabbit area here, but the larger area was selected, it was because we had done some research on where sassafras trees still naturally grow.
That's right.
They don't grow that far north, and in fact, they only appear in southern Canada. Around this area is on the northern border of where sassafras naturally grows. And of course, sassafras trees played a kind of large role in our rabbit society in terms of celebrations and names and all sorts of things. And so we wanted it to be where those trees would be found. But furthermore, not only is sassafras naturally found in this area, but there are mountains that we can see, and that was important because we had a lot of words for mountain. And so they needed to have mountains in the areas, and they did. They also had a lot of water features that, again, we had names for, including a lot of lakes, rivers, and so on, and islands.
Yeah.
You can see the big island right there in the lake. And so all of the features we were looking for kind of converged in this one area of Canada, including some animals that we had names for and so on. So anyway, it all sort of naturally converged in this area. And so it's a little bit further south in Canada than I think David was envisioning.
Right.
But at the same time, it is still north, and it is a lovely location.
Yeah. A couple of other things. Another reason the waterways were important is because this substance began in the waterways and it needed to get out. So that's why.
And this particular
yeah.
area is attached via waterways to a lot of outside areas.
And the other thing is that, if you will remember, I originally had thought that this would be somewhere in Northern Europe. But as we started developing animals and realizing where they were, it was like, no, these are all North American animals. It doesn't make any sense for it to be in Europe. Like, we were grasping at straws to say, like, well, of course they're zoos, so they're going to bring animals over for the zoos and they'll get out. And it's like, no, this makes a lot more sense.
Or the animals could build their own ships and go exploring and land on new continents and take
There you
root.
go. Anyway, so what the idea was that the re-emergence of this substance would be in the middle of Tananguera, the rabbit society. And in fact, it was going to be right here, a place called Emily Lake. And it kind of has the shape of a heart.
Biblaridians here.
Oh, there we go. Now we can really begin. And you'll also notice that Emily Lake has this kind of rather large river that goes out to some larger waterways. It actually has one that goes south as well. I don't know if it makes it out here.
I don't think that particular
think it
one
does.
makes it, no, but all of those around the top end up connecting, so it would eventually make it onto that side.
Yeah.
And also some of these waterways are close enough that, like, all it would take is one flood season to carry it over into the next waterway. And so it could definitely travel beyond this little area.
Yeah. And so, by the way, I like the way that Arias wrote this, because now Bib la Religion makes it seem like something like Viva la Revolución. And so that could be, it's not just your name, it's now your battle cry, or, your cry of celebration, Bib la Religion,
I'm sorry, I'm just now realizing that we have a place called the Marina at Happy Days.
Oh yeah, and there's also Fox's Corners.
Well, no, that one I knew, but I didn't see this one until just now. I had seen Fox's Corners before. We had talked about that quite a bit.
Yeah, oh, that's true, Arias. So anyway, and also because of the way that that these rivers kind of like spread out, it was kind of like arteries going to the heart. And so we thought that the rabbits would name this thing after a heart in some way or another, and that this could be the name of our game. Essentially in English, the name would be like something like Heart Lake, the Battle of the Bloodwater, because that's what the rabbits call the substance. They call it bloodwater. We did that a while ago in a patron live stream, so it's Naichabi. And so it could literally be, name of the lake, the Battle of Naichabi. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. So we needed a name for this lake. It's called Emily Lake.
Sorry. Emily must be a big name up there, because there was the Salem Emily Cemetery down here.
Oh.
Right there?
Yeah, I see it.
Right there. So Emily must be important for them.
Yeah.
Go on.
Anyway, and so that was the nature of our poll this time. And we didn't have a name, but we came up with 3 possible strategies for having a name.
Yes.
And those were as follows.
And here's where you would need to drag it back over so they can actually see all the... There we go. That would be enough.
And you're just going to have to remember along with us. But Engala has an augmentative strategy. It was a prefix, and this prefix means large. I think it originally came from mountain. And so one strategy would be to have the name of the lake be the Great heart. And so that would have a so prefix on the front, and plus we want it to be, there's a potential that it could be disyllabic, as I said, so like, sobas or something like that, but we were thinking trisyllabic. And the way that this would work, with Angela's romanization is that stress doesn't go to the prefix, even though stress is usually on the first syllable. And so it would be on the second prefix, which would be unpredictable. And so we would have an accent mark on the second syllable. Anyway, so that was one strategy. So it would mean great heart. The second strategy is that it would essentially mean heart of the land, or the land's heart. The way that that works in Angala is that the second word would be ema, which is our word for land, because that's how those genitival constructions work, and we don't need anything in the middle because it is inalienable. And so it would just be word followed by ema. For that, it would have to be a monosyllabic word for heart followed by ema, because 3 syllables is the max that I want to consider for the name of the game. 4 syllables is too many. Then the other option was essentially heart lake. And so heart would be the adjective modifying lake. Our word for lake is fuemu, which is a very Jesse word, followed by a monosyllabic word that would mean heart, something ending in S or N. And then, by the way, the shape of these things is so, like, for number 1, it would be like, using like bas or basa as our examples. It would be sobas or sobasa. The second one would be basema, like that, or unless we make a compound of it, it would be basema. The third one would be fuemubas, like that. Anyway, so those were the 3 options. We had patrons vote.
I just went down a tiny rabbit hole. No word on the history. There's apparently an entire Emily Township and Emily Provincial Park that's like a kind of state park type thing for Canada. But no reason behind the name that I can find history-wise, so I don't know where it got its name. However, on the park website, check out this little logo.
Oh,
it says "Learn to Fish," where
very
the
delightful.
F in fish is like a swoopy fish hook at the bottom, and so that was just kind of fun. But anyway, I was trying to find out where the Emily name came from. I found information about Cahuerta, which is the wider region, but not about Emily. Go on. Announce our winners, and I'm going to make sure I touch you up here. Because I know, as Arias had already mentioned, yes, my favorite, I already know. Yeah.
By the way, there's a Finnish first name. I believe a man's first name is Emeli. Eemeli. Emeli. Anyway, so our third place vote getter had 10, which was a good number of votes, but that was indeed Heart Lake. So Heart Lake, Fuemu Bas was the loser.
Goodbye, Fuemu. My Fuemu Gameu. I really wanted to name the game Fuemu Gameu, and I know David just kind of looked at me and rolled his eyes a little, but come on now.
So that is out. And then for 1 and 2, drum roll, we have a tie.
Oh, sorry, I was drinking when you said drum roll, and I was going to provide a drum roll, and then you announced it. Never mind. Yeah,
15 votes each. So I think we're just going to roll with that. And we are going to move on to the next poll, which is going to be an open-ended poll, where I think we're just going to have people throw out suggestions, and you just vote on them by liking. So... But
we're going to roll with there being a tie and having 2 different strategies?
Yeah, so I think we're just going to let people make suggestions.
I thought we were going to have like a roll-off here in the live stream to find out which is the better option.
Well, unless you want to.
I don't know. My concern was how against having an accent mark in the name title were you? Because if that was something that was very very worrying, then Great Heart is not the way to go. Because we're going to have an accent mark, because the so is not going to be
This is true.
stressed.
This is true. But I want to allow it and just see what happens. I would encourage everybody, as we set up this poll, to go and take a look at Lexergy to make sure that the form comes out the way you think it is if you're going with affixation. And yeah, that's also the thing, Jake. We could just leave the accent mark off, which is probably what we would end up doing. Which is not a nightmare.
It's not. It's not a nightmare. It's just not as correct as David usually makes things.
It somehow worked for Pokemon, which is really weird because, of course, Japanese romanization doesn't even have accent marks. But they're like, without that, everybody's going to say Pokemon. So they just threw the accent mark on there, and somehow it worked. And it's the most successful franchise in history. Can you believe that?
I've never thought about it until just now.
Yeah.
And Pokemon.
And still, Americans don't pronounce it right. They say Pokemon, which is just ghastly.
And so anyway, yeah, we can figure that out. And Mateus, you're right. We do need to think beyond just what we like and think about what could be a game title that could grab, people outside of our community and make them excited about this. And so, yeah, as silly and as funny as it was, Fuemu Gemu was not going to be the name of the game. It was just really funny.
Okay, yes, it is from Japanese. It's a Japanese game created by, a Japanese creator, and then they borrowed English words to make the word Pokemon from, Poke the monster, But it's like saying the word sushi in sushirito is actually from Japanese. Like, technically it is, but no, we just made sushirito from sushi, our English word that we borrowed from Japanese, and burrito, a Spanish word or an English word that we borrowed from Spanish. Anyway.
Wow.
That's loud.
That was loud.
Look at that.
I was not expecting to see that.
Crap.
So
was that 2 lamps and a big trash can?
A trash can. Just walked by. Mateus, I honestly don't want to know. I had never heard it until David just said it, and now I'm like,
Seriously? You haven't heard of a sushirito?
No.
Oh. No, it could never be sushi, Miles. It'd need an extra S. But it's it's like, they make, it's essentially like a larger hand roll, and they just use the word sushirito.
There's an original sushi burrito brand in San Francisco. I'm checking them out.
There you go.
It really is just wrapped, a giant sushi roll wrapped in paper and not cut, so you just eat it.
Yeah.
I don't really. I guess it's sushi on the go. I don't know.
It's like a hand roll, but open on both ends to kind of look like a burrito, and it's larger than a hand roll usually is. But
there's no burrito-ness about it, which...
Yeah. Anyway, the point is that it's kind of silly to suggest that this word is actually a half Japanese, half Spanish word. I mean, it's an American construction. Anyway. Oh, Chipotle. I wonder if somebody could actually make a restaurant called that, like a poke place called Chipotle, where it's got poke in it. Oh. Anyway.
That wasn't in comments other than Chipotle, right?
It's like if poke places operated like Chipotle, but...
My brain is not catching up to that.
Wait a minute. Poke places do operate like Chipotle, where you just make it.
you order it like a bowl.
Yeah, and like you say what goes in each bit. Do you know what Poke plays that doesn't operate like that?
True story. I'd never heard of poke until I moved here.
Yeah.
And then people were just like, "Hey, we're having poke tonight. Do you want some?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
It's from.
And everybody was like genuinely weirded out, I think, because I had no idea what they were talking about.
Well, credit where credit is due. It is actually from Hawaii. All right. Does anybody remember what the heck we were doing?
We had moved beyond the stick. You made this glyph that had the mouse tail that we were looking at, the rounding features of it at the end. You copied and pasted it into an existing character where it got angry with you and put the red bar. And I was making dictionary entries.
Yeah. All right. Let's Yeah, I think that's good. Let's keep on then.
Based on my current understanding of poke, it's really just a rice bowl. It doesn't feel like it actually has any. It's whatever you make out of it.
It's actually very kind of standard for Hawaiian food, which I find quite bland and quite carby, you know.
Which is why I usually order mine with the broccoli base instead of rice.
Yeah, but it's very very Hawaiian. Oh, how does poke work in Japan? I'm sorry, in London. Trying to imagine this. Do you want gravy on your poke? That's my guess.
I think that's as good a guess as any.
I still need to make the... All right. I've been avoiding it, but we're going to need both of them. So I'm going to try to make cloud, and then once cloud is made, bush will be very easy. So cloud kind of looks like...
Okay, don't copy and paste anything because I just did. Okay. Now you can do as you wish.
Okay, good, because I'm about to. And I think I need this one, or this one, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to take this one and start it up, and by up I mean down here, because this essentially is the curl that we want. And so I'm going to keep that and then turn this into a curl. And I'm going to do that by putting this where essentially we want it to be. It's kind of like here. Don't worry about that. Yeah, put it right. There, 350, 400. We're going to go with that. And then we're going to make these smooth. Maybe delete these because I don't think that we're going to need them. By the way, Mateus, your last name, it sounds like some sort of video game or like comic book character. In fact, there's a character in this game called Indivisible whose name is Garuda Cruel, and spelled the English way. I think I'm gonna have to move this over. which means I think I'm going to have to move this over. Yeah, something like that. We're going to have to delete these, I think. And wherever we place this thing is going to have to be halfway in between. These are going to have to be halfway between that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this so that that line is right on 0. Oh man, lamps are gone. I couldn't do this, could I? No, I can't. But that's
Should I
pretty
be
cool.
watching what you're doing to make sure?
No. All right. Okay, so 0, and then what is this like? Let's say it's between 0 and 1500, which is going to be 750. So there we go. Now it's in the middle. Now we kind of make this a circle-y thing.
Okay, you're not copying and pasting, right?
No. See what I mean? And if we want to get those curves just right, then we put nodes here, and then delete those two. But honestly, I think that looks pretty good. Oh my gosh. Ariaz's cat said, "Spoy."
Ooh.
This is what Ariaz's cat said right here. Here, hold on a sec. We're gonna So there's a little cat in the dog language. Let's see, where are you in the document? Oh wait, we're on the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. We're going to do it right here. What is your cat's name, Ariaz?
May. Oh, that's cute.
There. Now the language starts with a quote, which I think is important.
We created the form quiet. That was meant to be adjective-y, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Not like quietness or.
No.
We're gonna roll with it.
Wait. It's supposed to work the way all the other adjectives work in this language.
Right, which is
A
like
noun.
a noun.
Yeah. Okay. This is where I started, but I don't think it's where we need to actually finish. So I think I'm going to change those. Yeah. I think this makes more sense. All right, we're going to change things up here. Create some nodes, delete some nodes. Yeah, that's a little funky, but easily fixed. Yeah. That is 233.
And now I gotta go see what you just did up top because I think you put it in the wrong place.
Really?
Let's see what you did. Oh, this was a quote.
Yeah.
I thought you were putting in. I really need to go look at chat. I have no idea what's happening right now.
That's what Maymay, Ariaz's cat, said.
Did Maymay sit on the keyboard?
I think so.
Ooh. That makes more sense. I was trying to make sense out of it. This is what happens when I go all industrious. I miss out on the good stuff while I'm staring at forms.
You're just like your little mouse.
Oh, I just copied. I hope that wasn't a problem.
I'm not at 0.
There we go.
This is actually a problem. Let's see what happens if we. There we go. Wait a minute. 1820. Now these are at the same spot at least. There's something weird going on here. There we go. That should fix it. 1440, and this is at 1552. We're going to put them, now they're at the same place. Good. It's, there we go. Well, that was a sound.
Was indeed. I believe what just happened was a package was scanned in from like a delivery.
Oh, that makes sense.
But I don't think the delivery was for us because I did not actually hear it at our door. Okay.
There we go.
4, 5, 6. 6 entries down. Walking back the other way without a package. Woo! I am getting close to having finished this giant list. I think by the end of today, that list will actually be a part of my dictionary.
Nice.
Whatever is happening with this whole delivery thing outside is kind of cracking me up.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
This delivery person made a noise by our door, walked across with a package, came back without the package, having presumably delivered it somewhere off screen, so to speak. But then drug a whole thing of packages in something that looked like it was supposed to be a wagon with wheels, but did not have wheels, and so was just being drug across the concrete. There's fascinating stuff happening.
Trying to. This is it's still pretty long. It's still pretty wide. I don't know if I wanted it to be that wide. Indeed, some people in some parts of the country say drug. It is not a usual thing.
Why not? Are you saying that's part of my regional dialect?
Oh, hey, everybody! It's a LangTime emergency. We are not keeping Biblaridian awake. All right. So, in order to hold Biblaridian's attention, we're going to switch and talk about a specialty of mine and Jesse's, which is biology, because we are really, we don't talk about it a lot, but we're really well versed in biology.
In fact, I did take a biology course in college.
Yeah, and I took a biology course, so we're kind of experts. And so we want to tell you a little bit about
Whoa.
biology.
Back with bigger packages from somewhere.
Yeah.
Where are all these packages being kept? But carrying them in this giant thing on their back all the way across. Biblaridian, you should be here. You would be riveted to the delivery mysteries happening outside our windows.
And it's really interesting because human biology, the vacuole muscles of the human back allow us to carry 9 times our weight because of exactly how they're positioned. Basically, it's because the dominant vacuole muscles are tied to the minor vacuole muscles, and they actually form a feedback loop, which can generate even more power than, in fact, most animal species.
Question.
Yeah.
V comes before W, right?
Yes.
We have misalphabetized. And then I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Very sorry.
Okay. But yes, our backs. Amazing until they stop working. Am I right?
Yeah. You know what's interesting is that the human back is actually not real. It is a term for
It's not real.
yeah, no, it's not real. It's a term for an area that's basically kind of like a conglomeration of skin and muscles that together form actually 17 separate interlocking systems. And part of the distinguishing factor between the backs of different mammals is how many systems there are. So humans have 17, but rats, for example, have 29. They're always prime numbers, the number of systems in the back. And in fact, the fewer number of systems there are, the stronger the back is. And the strongest back is, of course, possessed by what do you call them? Chinchillas, who only have one vacuole muscle. And that, of course, one is a prime number. See?
I don't even know what's happening right now. So I'm just gonna focus here. Choking me up.
We're also a math stream. And so, yeah, in fact, 1 is a prime number. So, so there you go. We solved that. Ooh, hero shrew. I now get that joke, Mr. Luridian. Let's put that at 200. Let's put that at 200 as well. Why not? And then this is at negative 210. That is at negative 200. So this needs to be there. All right. And then, you know, I'm going to bring this up. I don't even understand why it's at 540 and not at 550. There we go. That's a little bit better.
Whew, 3 more down.
I'm actually going to bring this up to 600.
I'm feeling all sorts off.
These are going to need to scoot out a little bit more.
So you know how you never get sick from vaccinations, but I almost always do?
Yeah.
I think it's happening.
Bang. It's going to be
It's like I am suddenly like, oh my gosh, everything is wrong with my body.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Hmm.
That's good.
Okay. But I'm down to the last 8 from the giant list. Then I just need to make entries for our names. And then I have to double check words we came up with to support the orthography.
Yeah.
Woo!
Incidentally, for those who don't know, one of the reasons that you don't hear about Terrence Howard anymore, this is just one of the reasons, is that he had this really like wacky theory about math, where what was his primary thing? Where I think he said that it's not the case that like um, that 1 divided by 1 is 1. Either that or 2 divided by 1 isn't 2, something like that. Um, and he had like a whole name for this math system, saying that every math presented in the world was wrong, and that it was a huge conspiracy theory. And so,
I mean, math is fake, isn't it?
it's a bizarre rabbit hole to go down, and you might be thinking like, why Terrence Howard? Why do you do this? Indeed, many have wondered. There's a beautiful song by the Flaming Lips.
You said many, and I thought you meant mini.
Called
Mini. And
Many.
then I was so excited. I was like, Minnie's here, and then
There's
no, you just mean that many have wondered.
Anyway, many, because it's a different word. There is a song by the Flaming Lips called the Yeah 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 song, which is ironically, basically suggesting, when you get all this power, what do you do with it? And it kind of illustrates who you are as a person. And yeah, that's what Terrence Howard did with all his power. All right, so we're gonna scoot this out now because this. Oh boy. This doesn't necessarily look right, but we're gonna. Okay, you know what? I apologize for everything that I just did. We're gonna undo it all. That was clearly a mistake, and we're gonna forget that it happened, and we're just gonna roll with this. The problem is that this, I think, is gonna be slightly too thick. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. All right. So I just need this shape, and I'm going to copy it, because now we're going to make the lower curl. So we are going to need something. Put it right here.
Just copied and pasted in a giant cliff.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So we're going to have to shorten this up in a number of ways. Number one, it's going to need to get actually shorter, and it's also going to need to get thinner. I think that we're going to do this by just doing, this. So that, but also it needs to get thinner, which means that we need to shrink everything. I'm going to do that by doing this.
And I'm going to do 3 quick pastes.
Don't worry, I'm not copying anything right now.
I just figured I would get set up for my next 3 entries.
It was at 1150. Let's bring it into 1150 and see what happens.
I am set up for a moment.
We brought it into 1150 and saw what happened.
Was it a disaster?
It was a thing, let's just say, but don't worry. We're going to fix it. That looks pretty good, actually. So that's there. And then this, well, that just needs to go back out, right? That's why it's all funky. 2100, 1700. Yeah, so that's where it should be. But now we're going to bring it in. Yeah, that is good. I think that is good. And I think that's where we want to connect it. So we need to find that intersection point. Looks like it's around 619. Let's do it at 625. So what we're going to do is we're going to put, not there, not there, not there, little one. That's it.
Ooh, 4 more times.
Okay.
Creepy, David.
Now, okay, 73, 625. All right. So let's put that at 3. Oh. And we just need to drop a node somewhere in there. I think we can do that without clearing. Yes. No. But that's okay, because now we can just delete this. And
oh wow.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
We're getting some good work done while
we're going to clean that up.
While I'm staring at my computer.
We're going to remove the overlap there, and we are essentially going to invent a node that's going to be like somewhere in the middle of here, and then fix the curves to work. So like, because that doesn't work. That looks like 2 different strokes, and we need it to look like 1 stroke. And so logically, that point should be like right there. So we're going to pull this to right there, 300. 300, 500. And we're just going to fix everything so that it works. Delete that. And ooh, that's a little pointy, isn't it? I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Ooh, as I was just saying okay to myself, I realized that's literally the form I just created. Oak.
Nice.
Glad I make myself laugh. Really want to drop some nodes right here and delete, or at least just for the inside track. All right, I'm going to do 4 copies and pastes.
It's okay. 12, 13, 12, 18. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, perfect. All right, now we can do the same kind of thing with this one. Same kind of thing. I think the outside curve here looks okay. Oh, this glyph reminds me of Moana. It's not a bad thing. Actually, I think we're going to do the same thing with this, just to double check. We want it. Okay, 539. We're close. $538. 540. Should have been paying attention to the numbers. Should be in between those. 539. 539. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to delete this. No. No. No, senor. No. That is not good.
Don't know what's happening over
Y
there.
dije
Oh
no.
my.
Yes. It's not going to work. So, all right, we'll just leave that as is, but I do want to try to fix the top. I think that one will be less controversial. What are we at? Going to be 39. Perfect. I want to delete this. I think that I can do that. Yep. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, now the thing is I want to bring this in. I don't know if I can bring it in. Let's see what happens if we try to bring it in. Kind of works. Because we want to make it, you know, a little bit, bring it a little bit closer to the chest. I think that works. Let's see how wide this glyph is going to be. Set side bearings equal to 0. And it is 2250. It's certainly going to be our widest glyph, but let's see. Oh, 2291. Well, well, well. Never mind. I think it's okay. All right. Oh, yeah. So let's update everybody on that. What happens if I delete this? Oh my God, yes. Y esta. Y esta. Maybe. Maybe. How about this one? No, that one's a load bearing one. But this one, I mean, is looking okay. I think.
Excuse me.
You are so good looking.
I don't know about you.
I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I think we're gonna leave it like that, and I think it makes it easier. So we have watched the first challenge of Great British Bake Off. We haven't yet finished the first episode yet.
We're going to finish it tonight.
We're going to finish it tonight. We're very excited about it. I think it's just overall great. I think it's a much better vibe. I think it's a much better balance. I think it's a much better feel so far. And no, I didn't. Oh, yeah, actually, oh, yeah, sorry, yes, we had questions about that. So I think it was, I forget who asked, but one of us asked, was he wearing an Oakland A's sweater? And it's like, that's weird because it's Oakland A's colors. It's a sweater, which we don't really have sports memorabilia or that's sweaters in the United States. And it's got an A on it, but the A that it has,
It's not the right
it's not the Oakland A's A. In fact, it looks like the A, and placement looks like the A, where an assistant captain's A would go on a hockey jersey. And so we were wondering about that. But the thing is, once we noticed it, he was just wearing the apron, so we couldn't see what was under it. And so we're still waiting to.
Is it Allison?
Get to the bottom of that.
Is Amos wearing an A for Amos? An A for Allison?
Oh my gosh. All right. So there we go. There's that. And now we just need, for Bush, we just need the little swoopy-doo underneath it, which is easy to do. Do we already have the swoopy-doo? No, I'm looking at this and not liking it. But
the ponytail?
Yeah, it looks like it's a little pointy there.
Mm.
Hey there, Swoopy! Swoopy, hang on! We don't have the Swoopy-Doo. So we're going to have to make a new Swoopy-Doo. But we can make it out of this.
David?
Yeah.
I just need you to see that now, we've got our quote here, we've got our IPA charts, all of those, that list is gone.
Oh!
You may not remember how long that list was, but it's all gone. Now I just need to do your entry. I was kind of leaving the notes though because we had this idea that your name would lead to sweet or sugar. So like I need to.
Right.
I don't want to delete the notes, but at the same time, I'm ready to enter our names for real.
Nice. Get on up on the floor. Oh, I see. This is actually backwards.
I think I can also delete the dog name list that we had going.
Not that. This. There we go. Now, c'est une pipe. I like what's going on in chat right now.
The note in the node.
Get down, boogie, 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 get down. I also want to let patrons know that we got to doing the podcast, so that's out.
Indeed.
Gloriously webified by Jessie, as she always does, without complaint, every single time, and I really appreciate it.
Was I supposed to complain? Did I miss my memo that complaining was on the to-do list?
Well, it's always on my to-do list.
You never complain about the stuff you do.
Well, I don't know if that's true.
Oh, I gotta stare in the distance for a while. My body is rebelling. Oh.
What?
That's a fancy calligraphic swoop.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
I know.
Right? It's
I know
terrible
you're
right
working
now.
on it. like no, but like I meant to say it was just really cool because it reminded me of a line I used to always put under my signature when I was younger.
Oh, that's cool. We're gonna try to get it so that it actually looks good as opposed to bad, which is what it looks right now. And we are slowly moving towards that ideal.
Whoa, you need to leave it that way. That was funky. It is kind of tilde-y just in the direction of swooping. But it just makes me really happy that we're going to have this as part of our...
So get on.
And if complaining is an affront to God, then the Old Testament is really just God making war because of the humans complaining. That could be the subtitle, because a lot of the Old Testament is the complaints of humans.
By the way,
then the smiting.
In some random or in some alternate universe, by the way, Jessie is like, does some sort of Bible podcast because it's like she's actually read it. That's so funny to me.
Why would I need to do a podcast because I've read it? Like, is that...
No, I mean, like, you can actually say things about it. It's like, I know about it in theory. I've heard of it. I've seen it in stores. All right. Okay, so let's...
How do you ask? And yes, Mateus, God complains right back if what the humans have captured is indeed what God was thinking and or saying. There were some complaints being filed. Let's just say HR was kept busy with those. And Jake translating Judges of all books. Fascinating. That sounds about right, Jake. Interesting choice of books. Old Testament, I gravitate towards Ecclesiastes. Although when I was younger, I always thought Ruth was an interesting person. So was Esther, mainly because it's like, hey, some women made it into the Bible. This is cool. Magpie, you've got to commit.
That's
and
cool.
I've actually read it 3 times. Because I read it from beginning to end. And then I've also read it chronologically. And so, like, people have put the Bible into chronological order, which means you're getting chapters from some books mixed up with chapters of others, because it overlaps in a lot of ways that I think are surprising if you don't realize when they were supposedly situated on a historical timeline. And then another time it was arranged in a way where it was like in a year read the Bible, but like it was Old and New Testament kind of mixed together. So essentially it would give you a break, like, hey, you made it through this much of the Old Testament today. Now you get a break and here's some New Testament readings because they're way easier to read. They're less boring than the Old Testament. So-and-so begat so-and-so who begat so-and-so. And here's the exact dimensions of the temple and how many stones to place in an altar. And so, but however, as you may know, if you've read any of it, you may know that the New Testament is also less gruesome. The Old Testament is quite gruesome. Oh, there is a bit about Deborah too. They randomly Loving God Studios. They do randomly mention women throughout, and there's some cool women. They just don't get as much focus as they should.
Hell yes. Okay. We're gonna we we needed this to be flatter.
Matesh, you make a really good point. Some of the epistles are quite dull compared to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes is good.
Like, I don't even have the slightest idea what those are.
The epistles are some of the later books in the New Testament,
let me tell you what they sound like. They don't
letters.
sound.
They're letters.
Oh, that's funny.
You know that term.
No, I don't.
Epistolary?
What?
Like an epistolary novel? Epistle?
I've not heard that term. I certainly should have, but...
like a novel told in letter shape, where
Yeah.
it's like just all letters back and forth.
I feel like those got more popular in the 90s for
Any-hoozles.
reasons.
The epistles are some of the later... A lot of the later chapters in the New Testament where
check this out.
People like
so
Paul are
better.
just writing letters to churches to be like, here's some advice on how to live. And then Revelations is just kind of crazy.
Mm. Oh, I never read Dracula.
Oh, yeah. Matesh, you have a point.
We're gonna...
I think I said it wrong, Logan. Epistolary.
Oh,
I think I said apostolary.
You sure did. And
wow.
I was like...
I just realized that. And that was a mistake. Like, I know it's epistolary, and I just popped off the wrong thing.
To me, that sounds like a store that you'd find in Texas.
Maybe.
Get it?
Oh, I do get it now. Okay. Tincture, so Elemental P I thought was really, really uniquely done. And so I really enjoyed that book. And then another one that has more recently, like in the past 20 years, made waves was the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. That was another epistolary novel. Yes, I think I said that right that time. My brain is shutting down.
I like your brain.
I'm so sorry.
It's a good brain. I'm a fan of it. 450. Like, can we go that low?
We can do anything we want, David. The question is, will it look good with all the other things?
Yeah.
How low was that one that like went off grid when you copied it over?
That's a good question. Let's go look at that real quick.
Yeah, that one.
Negative 534.
Yeah, we can do 450, babe.
Yeah. But of course, what's that going to look like next to this one? Because this has a descender. I think they'll have to overlap. Or we're going to have to come up with some sort of a... This is why they don't have you do that. I understand now. We're going to have to come up with some sort of a ligature.
Bye, tincture.
Okay, that looks pretty good. I kind of like that swoop. This one's got all kinds of wrong written all over it. It's gone very badly. But I do... actually, maybe not. I think... Okay, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to forget that one. We're just going to duplicate. Because that looks fine. And so we're going to just... We're just going to duplicate it.
I momentarily thought you were just like deleting that whole thing, and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
No, we're just going to do this. We're going to flip it, and we're going to plunk it right on down.
Oh, I see what's happening.
Yep, that's negative 50. So get rid of that. I know what I was trying to do. I honor it. I thank it for its service, and we send it home because it no longer sparks joy. Okay, remove overlap. Good. And now it is actually perfect. So in other words, it looks the same up here as it does down there. I think we're going to bring this in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think we need to celebrate.
I think you're
We
right.
just did something really well.
Yeah. Think it needs to be a little bit longer?
Try it out like 1 or 2. No. That's it.
Nice.
Oh,
Then
my
celebrate
goodness.
we shall.
Oh, wait. We have... Finding some of the old packages still on top here. Those are the old candies that need to be eaten. I think the rest below this are the new ones. I think we did it, babe.
Right on.
These all appear to have the new gold. So yeah, our last 2 from our old.
Excellent.
There we go.
Cheers, partner.
Cheers.
All right.
I didn't throw mine today. That must be a lucky thing.
Oh my God, I forgot why I'm wearing this shirt. Everybody, we need to stop what we're doing after I say, actually, I will use this. Kopiko, the new sponsor, unofficially, of Tongues and Runes. All right.
Mateus. Thank you for being a sport and trying it, though. Well, not trying it because you'd had it before and knew you didn't like it. Thanks for being a sport and having some with us.
But we're going to take a moment to talk about a brand new YouTube series. We have coming tomorrow a brand new YouTube series called Tongues and Runes from Conlangery. And George, here, let's move it over a little bit. George is going to be doing a YouTube series where he creates languages for kind of D&D characters / races. And furthermore, I believe that the dice are going to be involved. So, if you are interested, I don't know if this is going to be every week, but at least the first episode is going to be tomorrow at, it looks like 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 2:30 Mountain, 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern.
It's and in 22 hours from right now, wherever you are.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so since we're here, I'm gonna give it a like. And I am going to...
John, subscribe.
Kind of embarrassing that we weren't already subscribed to Conlangery. Apologies. I can also report it.
That's because we were subscribed on our personal accounts, and we often forget to subscribe to things with our LangTime account.
That's true.
So it's...
And then we're going to type in the very first comment, and of course we're just going to type first, but
Hey, Remy.
There we go. So yeah, hooray!
Yay!
Anyway, so yeah, you can tune in that tomorrow, 22 hours from now. Anyway, and I meant to say that at the top of the stream, but I forgot. So there you go. All right, back to it. What was on? Lexergy.
I don't know that we...
Well, do you want to talk about a way that we might come up with a name for this writing system?
We can do that, yes. What ideas do you have, David?
I got none.
Oh,
Hold on. I need my blue star. And I don't remember what one I used, so I'm just going to use this one.
that looks right.
Because we can put some stars there. And some stars there. And figure out what has to happen next. Maybe thorn.
Was this the...
Did we already do fish?
I don't see one that looks like that. Was this the system that started out as drawings that you use bones?
Yes. Yes,
So
it was.
Could literally just be like the bones.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. I'm sorry, you were talking. I jumped ahead and I was looking at glyphs and I thought you were making suggestions about how to do the characters. I'm like, a little odd, but no, you're talking about the name of the system. Yeah. That's perfect. That's brilliant. Something built off the word for bone. Do we have a word for bone yet?
Let's see. We do.
You know what? I'm going to do Puddle Pond.
Nope.
Because Puddle Pond was kind of built off of the mouse glyph. And I'm going to make it even more built off the mouse glyph than it was originally intended to be.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right, so David, the word for bone is dob, pharyngealized.
Mm-hmm.
When we created our plural system, we had said that in the older system, hey, which is now used really for a collective, was actually the older plural, and it's now like used specifically in more modern forms as a collective. And so that, I think, because the writing system would be older, I think it should have the hey plural marker instead of the more modern one. And so it would be hey nob.
Oh, and so yeah, that would just kind of like be, and you'd always use that, right? You'd always use that plural marker when
Because it's
referring
like
to
the
it.
bones.
Yeah.
In the plural.
Okay, I think that's, yeah, I honestly, really easy, really straightforward, to the point. I think it's great.
Would it be written as one word over time, or should it still be written as two?
I think for our romanization purposes, it should still be written as two.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I know what I'm going to do for this. It's going to be a little tricky to execute. I think I'm going to need two versions. You snug it will break it back control.
When you're finished copying and pasting, can you let me know so that way I can copy and paste?
Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're fine.
I'm good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I may be doing something bad. Nobody copy me. Like, if you're looking at what I'm doing, don't do as I say, not as I do. Don't do this. I don't think this is the right thing to do. I'm just doing it because I'm just gonna see where it takes me, but don't do it. I swear. Something's not right about this.
Ooh. Oh, nice, Mateus. We had a hint of fall
Yeah.
for like a week, and it was
It was
very exciting.
It was an incredible fall.
I was so happy. And then it's like, and now it's in the 90s again, and I am no longer so happy.
It's so weird because it looks like fall outside. If you take a picture of things outside, it looks like fall, but it feels like it's in the upper 80s.
Well, it feels like it is, yeah, 88.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, I guess parts of it is supposed to be 93. I just realized. Huh. I realized when I looked at my phone, it wasn't showing me my weather widget.
Uh-huh.
And that's because I didn't have it on the outside, and I need that.
Mm-hmm.
How am I supposed to know what the weather is?
150. Okay, so then this should be 150 ahead of that. So we're going to put that there, and we're going to put this at 1650. Now we're going to adjust this one to the point where it looks right, the way we want it to, and then we're going to move it over there. That is 150. That's 200 up. Like, we may redo this. Because it's too cold? That is a bummer. There's nothing worse than being cold. It's the worst feeling in the entire world.
Now I have my weather on my lock screen again. Now I can breathe easy.
Okay, that's 250. I'm going to take it down 300. I'm going to take it down 300. Now we're going to fix it. So this is going to be over at 247. It's a weird thing to, let's move that out to, there we go. And now we're going to move this up to there. Move this up to there.
Oh, Danielle, that sounds lovely. Into the 30s at night? Yes, please.
We're going to make these the same.
Mateus, you claim you find cold worse, and yet you were somehow surviving the incredibly, insanely cold weather we had in Washington, D.C., and I don't know how you survived, and you're like, this isn't really so bad. So I think your definition of cold is very different from our definition of cold.
It was the coldest Copicon in history. I'm going to go ahead and say it. And I was honestly miserable. And I was afraid that my teeth were going to chatter because my teeth really do chatter when I'm very, very cold.
I literally thought I was going to drop the microphone when I couldn't get it back in that thing. And I was, during my presentation, I was incredibly worried. And I pretty much got in a bunch of exercise from essentially shaking so hard from shivering. It was you're right, freezing. Miles. It was so cold. Like, it was colder inside than it was outside. And so and outside was not necessarily great. And yes, once I got rained on when I was coming back from lunch and then sat in that cold room, I was really concerned for my health. I was
It was
not so great.
absolutely ridiculous. It was like, it's cold outside. Let's turn the AC on in here. It's ridiculous. It's like we were in some Midwest state.
No, not, well, not even Midwest, South.
Mm.
Because the South is where you get that the most.
I guess Washington, D.C. is technically in the South, isn't it?
It's part of the overall region. It borders on the north, but it's, yeah, it's far enough south that they think the air conditioner is needed at all times to keep insides freezing. Thank you, Miles. We tried.
All right, here we go. Just gonna do this. Just go back to
Whoa.
copying and pasting.
Look at that fancy little flag fellow. Ooh.
Press the wrong button, sorry.
I got so concerned, David.
That is a concern.
Sorry, but now it looks like a cute little wick.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what happened.
Well, it seems it can't handle it being smooth, so we're just gonna de-smoothify it. Gosh darn it, I did it again.
We're having some technical difficulties.
I'm pressing the page down button.
Oh, that'll do it.
All right.
I'm not saying anything about AC being bad or unnecessary, and David will tell you I use AC way more than he does. But what I don't like is when I go from outside to inside and I immediately freeze because the inside is so cold. Like that to me is really, and like you're right, like I think I saw Danielle up above saying like you can get pneumonia from inside because it's just like so cold in the summers in Texas inside any building, and that's absolutely true. Like I wore my hoodie more often in the summer than any other time while living in Texas, and that was because the insides of buildings were always so cold. And I think that's ridiculous and should not happen. And so anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Wait. It needs to be. There we go.
Oh.
No?
Yeah, but is there a bump right there?
Yeah. All right. Better?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it over here too.
There were also times when I would leave the inside of, a building in the summer in Texas and walk outside and my glasses would fog over. And it's like, that shouldn't happen. Like, I get it when it's like cold outside and you walk into a heated building and you get the fog over, but like the AC was causing my glasses to fog over by walking outside. It's just insane.
All right. So now what we need to do is we need to...
Oh, you're not wrong, Outer Yes. Anything above 75 is hot.
I'm going to go on record and say that's wrong.
I think if I could have like my ideal, it would be between 40 and 65 year round. All the time. I think that's perfect.
I think so.
With low humidity, because having those temperatures with high humidity, that can still actually be like painful.
I think 78 degrees with no humidity is perfect, and you don't need any air conditioner.
72 is better.
78.
Outer Yes is on board with me. Okay. Alice, do you happen to live in like Wyoming? Because I swear, Wyoming is one of the windiest places I've been. even though Chicago's the windy city. Like in Wyoming, it hits hard. Or also in like parts of Oklahoma and West Texas. I think West Texas was actually the worst windstorm I've ever been in. That was actually kind of frightening.
Did you say West Texas?
Yeah. Wellington, New Zealand. A little bit off. It's not Wyoming.
Yeah, I did not get to visit Wellington.
You did not get to visit New Zealand, babe.
Yeah.
I'm looking up Wellington, though. It's the capital.
Yep.
Is it because it looks like you have, like... It looks like you kind of have ocean and mountains, and is it because that wind just whips down from one to the other? Oh, there's some cool architecture here. Okay, but do they have a section on weather? I want to read more about the weather.
Oh. That doesn't look good. Shit. Just did all that work. I have to undo it all. I mean, we can, you know what we can do. All right, we're going to move forward with this. We're just going to see. We're just going to see what happens, all right? It's going to make those curves. I don't like the back.
There's something off.
I don't like it. All right, we're going to undo everything. There. And now you can probably guess what we're going to do. We're going to put nodes inside right here and delete everything else. How about that?
I am like, yes, okay. Oh, that looks, I don't know what you did, but it looks better than when I last looked up.
It's kind of fun that you just look down through that whole thing, because then you'll just think it's magic.
What you do is magic.
It's not magic, Jesse. It's only one magic, one real magic, and that is friendship. Friendship is magic.
Are you quoting My Little Pony?
Yes. So I'm going to drag it out a little bit. There should be some overhang on this character. Like that. Because remember, essentially what we're doing is this character, and I want to honor what won about that character.
I need to, Jake, I think I missed something, because you commented that you had to sleep in 86 degrees Fahrenheit in Korea with no air conditioning, which I'm like, I'm so sorry. David would be like, yes. But then after that, you commented that you got a good blanket, which helped. Do you mean that you got a blanket that somehow helped the 86 degrees with no air conditioning? Because if so, I need to know about this blanket, because I happen to live with someone who rather likes sleeping in hot temperatures, and I am not that sleeper. And if there's a blanket that could somehow save me, I need to know about it.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh my, Alice, that is some wind. Magpie says the Russian word for friends got borrowed into Romanian as the word for chainsaw. I need to learn more about that.
You sure that it's not just onomatopoeic?
It's how it feels. Friendship. A thin white sheet. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot, Alice. That's...
So, Jake, all you're saying is that it's made by Jaju? That's it? Not given more info than that?
Well, look at that. Okay, so now I'm doing some digging.
I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. Let's just take a look and see how some of these...
It is a trademark. It's the Russian trademark Druzhba, from Druzhba, meaning friendship. Like maybe your chainsaw is your sidekick. And then it got borrowed into Romanian as chainsaw. Indeed. That is some good stuff right there. Okay, but now I'm going to look up this Russian trademark.
Oh,
it is a proper noun, which is a city.
We're not going to worry about kerning until much later.
Okay, so it's a city, which maybe the Romanian speakers associated the chainsaw with the city Druzhba in Ukraine. Perhaps. Druzhba. Trying to say it correctly. We may have connected the dots.
Thorn should be easy to make. I think I'm going to make Thorn next.
Good to know. Alice says don't use an umbrella in Wellington. Which one is Thorn? Oh, based on all the shapes you've made, I feel that that's a good decision.
And I will not take that advice since, of course, Wellington is made for umbrellingtons.
Well, Bibleridian, that was not a hallucination. That bear just walked right behind us.
You just missed it.
It's right there.
It's because we need a ring bearer for our wedding.
You said bearer, right?
Yeah, bear.
Also, Miles and Remy, you two, making me smile over here. Chunky Hada has a baby now.
Wow.
That's what Mateus wrote.
I know.
Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have read that one out loud. I just...
Actually, I think it's...
Well, Miles, I assume that is the only way you two communicate is through LangTime chat. And yes, there is a Discord, and it is very exciting.
I'm thinking I might do something different for Thorn.
Really?
I think I might actually make it 2 strokes and use this.
Oh, David's going off books. I like it.
I am. And so I apologize.
No apologies necessary. I'm excited to see what you do with it.
Something that's going to go here, like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I continued that little dive, and apparently it's just that the Romanian word comes from druzhba, which is the name of a Russian trademark that heavily exported chainsaws to Romania during the communist era.
Mm.
Not.
I don't know if I need this many nodes for this. We're just going to make them all smooth and see what happens.
I love when you can read a single sentence and just be like, this is academic writing. Like, it's just full of academia. This article offers a three-pronged, like, you don't even need to read anything more. You're like, yeah, this is academic writing. A three-pronged diachronic analysis of borrowing in Romanian.
Prong it up.
My high school English teacher introduced me to the word multifaceted. Multifaceted approach. I was writing a paper on phobias because they fascinated me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you don't have any?
I mean, mild, not real. Like, and by real, I mean like diagnosed to keep me from living my life phobia. But like, it's just so interesting how our brains can differ so much from human to human, and how we internalize things as dangerous to the point where like you develop a phobia over it. And yeah, that fascinates me. Human brains fascinate me.
They don't fascinate me at all. Like, I want them to work, but that's it. Just do my bidding and be quiet about it. That's the best thing I can say for brains. I like what this is doing, but do I need that many nodes for this? I just don't know.
What are cursed conlangs?
It's something that the youngins do.
Oh, okay. I'm too old to get it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was. I remember the first time. Well, there's something that really kind of like disturbed me and bothered me the first time I learned about the word sh. Asterisks t post. You're familiar with this?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what on earth are they using this term? And I was like, oh, they're telling a joke. But like, it's this idea that things that are silly are inherently worthless. That is kind of like, I don't know, it's like this idea that younger people have. It's like, it's not. It's like, and so like they roll their eyes at it, but like, it's a joke. And that's the point of the joke. It's supposed to make you laugh. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be fun. But then they get called
my
out.
My understanding of that term was different. Probably because I'm not a youngin in the know.
Yeah. Okay, so 0 and 1250. 1250 divided by 4 is... Where's your calculator?
I have to search for it if I want it. But I can like, do it. Okay, what do you want? 1250 divided by...
So important.
Divided by 4?
Yeah.
312.5.
Oh, that's not good. Well, let's see. What's the bigger...
Wow. I understood that differently. I have no idea how to use that term, apparently.
Yeah.
It has roots in older communities, and then they list older communities that I'm like, what?
Yeah. We are the older communities. Let
And
me tell
yet,
you.
I'm not a part of them.
No.
Fascinating. Ooh, enjoy, Alice. Have a good class. And stay grammar.
There's something off about this.
It feels too thin given the bar at the top.
No, I mean, like,
Oh,
I think the
gotcha.
notes are in the wrong place. I think the notes are in the wrong place. I think that they should be here.
Oh, Mateus, it was amazing. I mean, like, and I think everyone after that was just like, only David. And it was fantastic. Ooh.
Yeah, so like it's just a matter of if these are in the right place. They're not, but like I just needed to put them there. And we've come back to this thing where I need to know the angle of that, and I have to press this. So it's 45.4. This is 45. So we need this to be at a 45-degree angle. I don't know what we need to do to get there. Okay. Shoot. God, I hate this. There we go. Now it's at a 45-degree angle, so we're going to keep that there. Now this can shorten up a little bit. Like, this is just a disaster. Like, don't look at it right now. Don't look.
So everyone, obviously,
close your eyes.
Stop watching the live stream. This is what David is saying. Wait till it's done.
Yeah. Okay, now we need this over there.
Oh, you know what today is?
What's today? That's good.
Season 2. Our flag means death.
Oh, that's right. Ooh.
Today.
Ooh. Excellent. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put notes down here. That is very exciting.
You know what we're doing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as we're getting in the last 5 minutes or so of the stream, patrons, be thinking about your entries for the poll that we're going to be making, because you should get them in there as early as possible to get votes accumulated. So, so be thinking about what could fit the overall structure for either Great Lake or Great Heart, rather, not Lake, Great Heart, or Heart of the Lake. No, Heart of the Land. I know what our options are.
Mm-hmm.
Be thinking about it. Also, if you have not reached out to us to get your name in Howell, please also reach out with that. Name or names, depending on how many are owed to you.
Operators are standing by. We just ask you to reach out.
And that's something that, you know, like next week I can continue making new entries for things like names. And so yeah, if, I mean, you know, it's not something you have to do. It's a privilege, which I think is exciting.
It's getting better, but like.
Honestly, Jake, I feel like Discord is easier to see all the messages, and so if you pop it into the Howlof channel, or if you don't want it to be a public message, you just send me a DM or something. Discord is easier for us to search, and more recently, Patreon has done yet another upgrade to its interface.
Terrible.
And let's just say, while I was trying to make a post today, I struggled. And so it's not always the easiest. And so, yeah, Discord is honestly the best, because then it's an easier record for searching, and easier for me to go on.
I've made a decision. I don't know if it's a smart one, but I've made it.
sometimes there is no smart to apply to decisions. There's only decisions that you work with.
That's a quote. Everybody remember that one. It's like it's getting closer to like what I think I want to do, but
I didn't even notice the new Patreon logo. I was just like, so. Oh, are we talking about the blurbadoo? That's I guess a P.
yeah, they went
It
from
looks
the
like a bean.
they went from the orange to the black to now it's still black and white, but looks like
Doesn't it look like a lima bean?
it looks like a lima bean or a puffed up Cheeto, where where it's the kind of ones where like you're eating Cheeto and then you show your friend, hey, look at this Cheeto, because it like looks so weird.
Or a croissant that's missing the corner.
Let's cross that swamp when we get there. When we get to it. I think this is actually closer to what I was intending, but I don't know if I like it. Actually kind of looks cool.
When it's smaller, it looks cooler than when it was big.
Like, it's not bad.
Yeah, no. That
yeah.
kind of helps. I feel like that top right where you're doing like could come over like just a. Oh my!
You like that?
My, oh my!
You like that? Did that just for you? No, but like I could bring this up and then bring it over. No, it just looks ridiculous. But
Oh, and thank you, Jake. I am excited about the blanket deeds.
I'm gonna move this over.
This is exciting.
What is?
Just watching the movement. And Magpie, you're not wrong. I feel. I feel that if everything keeps getting blobbier, we're just all going to have dots. The LangTime Studio icon is soon going to be a blob with antennas, so like a little slug face, little snail. That's going to be it eventually.
I'm gonna move everything over just a little bit.
Oh, I like that better.
Yeah.
Because there was something about that connector at the top that wasn't feeling right.
I don't know about that.
Oh man.
And then like I think that's all right. I think that's all right. You know what I mean?
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna maybe pull this down and then pull this. Yeah. There we go. Gonna leave it at that.
Yay! Perfect timing because we're now at the end of our stream.
Yep.
And telling our patrons, don't forget, get your entries made and up so that way people can be voting. And by up, I mean, like be ready for them because when the posts get made, the sooner you get it in, the more people have time to look and think about it as an option.
We're getting a lot closer. Oh my god, I didn't even realize. So we did the ball with the little swippity-doo, but without the
ball.
Oh my god.
Well, that'll be an easy thing to fix.
Can you imagine English with a Q and no O?
That's amazing.
All right.
But yeah, so exactly, Jake. Early next Wednesday. That is the best polling time. We hope you all have a wonderful week, and until next Thursday, stay grammar.
Bye, everybody. Oh.
Okay.